What's up everybody, Corey with Freaky Tech Reviews here. DJI dropped their Mini Pro 4 today that is now available to purchase online. And I just picked up the Mini 3 Pro a couple of months ago this summer, so I want to talk through if it's actually worth upgrading or not. The DJI Mavic Mini series is most known for being just under 249 grams of weight, which is the cutoff weight from the Federal Aviation Administration for operating without a license. I got the first Mini when it came out back in 2019 and was blown away by the amount of technology they could fit into such a small form factor. And fast forward to this last summer, I got that itch to upgrade drones and finally decided to pull the trigger and pick up the Mini 3 Pro for myself. But with the release of the Mini Pro 4 today, I had that kind of crap feeling that maybe I just should have waited. And it's one of those common issues with tech where you think, maybe I should wait until the next one comes out because it's gonna be a little bit better and I wanna get the best possible quality, and then you end up just not buying anything at all. This style of analysis paralysis especially plagues customers of companies like Apple, where they have a slightly upgraded model out every year. And this year, DJI did something similar, where since the release of the first Mavic Mini, we have seen the annual release of versions or upgrades from the Mini series, with the 3 Pro itself being released in May of 2022. So I wanna look at this from two different perspectives. Is it worth buying in general? And then if you have a 3 Pro, should you upgrade? If we start out looking at the similarities between the 3 Pro and the 4 Pro, we see a sizable list of things they have in common. Both feature a 1x130-inch CMOS 48 megapixel sensor. They both have a 1.7 aperture, come in under 249 grams, and have similar flight times, with the 3 Pro having the edge just by a couple of minutes or so. And most importantly, both have the same starting price of $759. But with some of the 4 Pro's upgraded features, we do see some noticeable differences. The 4 Pro can shoot HDR up to 60 frames per second in 4K, and the 3 Pro only goes up to 30 frames per second in 4K for HDR. The 4 can also shoot at 100 frames per second in 4K for superior slow motion, which is incredible, and the 3 caps at 60 frames per second. The 4 can also now shoot D-Log, which is the same as the several $100 more Air 3 that released just earlier this year. And the improvements don't stop there, as the newest mini drone has omnidirectional obstacle sensing instead of tri-directional sensing, and transmits 1080p 60 FPS video signal to the controller from up to 20 kilometers away versus a 3's 30 FPS from only 12 kilometers away. I really have no idea how DJI fits so much technology into one little small drone, but it really is impressive. Now, the easy purchasing decision is if you have anything that is older than a 2022 model DJI drone, this 4 Pro is probably going to be better than that. With the exception of some of the multi-$1,000 DJI drones, this 4 Pro is going to do everything you could need for about 95% of people. You can take it anywhere, it's incredible quality, you can fly it without a license. I mean, there's not many scenarios that this drone is not gonna do really well for the average person, except for maybe strong winds. But when upgrading from the 3 Pro, this is where it gets a little iffy. So for starting off, my own answer on should I upgrade to the 4 Pro from my 3 Pro, no. I don't think it's worth it for me. I only use my drone to capture footage of vacations and travel, or maybe product shots from farther away. And while I think the upgrades are fantastic and I would love to have some of the features that the 4 Pro shoots, how likely am I to use some of those upgrades? And is it actually worth the process of selling my 3 Pro and using those funds to go buy the 4 Pro? Now, maybe if DJI's trade-in program wasn't suspended, this would be a little bit easier, but who knows when that's coming back. But like with any upgrade, what it really comes down to is what is the value that you get out of those extra features? And I don't mean just in terms of enjoyment, but also the financial side as well. Let's say you're doing landscape photography or some type of videography where the client requires drone work. And let's say your competition is using the Mini 3 Pro and you have the opportunity to use the 4 Pro. And let's also assume that the client actually knows what they're talking about in terms of videography and photography. I know that's rare, but this is hypothetical, so just stick with me. Will the upgrades on the 4 Pro be noticeable enough and be effective enough to win that work for you versus someone with a 3 Pro? In that scenario, I don't think it's gonna be quite that much better. They have the same sensor, the same aperture, there's too many similarities for it to be a noticeable upgrade. And so if you already have the 3 Pro, maybe not, but let's say that you are going head to head and all of a sudden the client is like, man, it'd be really great if we could slow this down a little bit more. Or it'd be really great if we could edit the colors on this a little better to enrich some of the saturation and make the landscape look even more beautiful. Will you have the extra tools in your toolkit to be able to do that? And that right there is where the value of the 4 Pro can come in handy. Because if you have that in your toolbox, it's something that you don't even necessarily need, but it's there if you do. There's a lot of value in that if you know that's going to be a part of your work. For professional use, yes, there's definitely use cases where it can be. And if you don't have a drone or you have a couple years old drone, it makes absolute sense to get the 4 Pro because the price is the same. The price is a little bit different if you get the controller with a screen on it, because then that combo is $50 less for the 3 Pro. But at that point, 50 bucks, just go ahead and get the 4 Pro. That is the one that has more value for you. But here's the thing. This is where the analysis by paralysis comes in when it comes to looking at technology and should you upgrade. Is each little upgrade going to be that that much better than the one that just came out before it? I don't know. What I would see coming out next for DJI in the Mini series is probably going to be the Mini 4, which is obviously not going to be as good as the Pro 4. It'll probably have similarities to the Pro 3, but DJI has to keep their Pro series separate from their regular Mini series. But will there maybe even be a Mini SE like they did a couple of generations ago, where it's kind of in between the Pro and the regular Mini? I don't know. This is where you start getting paralyzed by too many things coming out and that you just end up not biting the bullet. At this point with the technology, I don't think it can get that much better for most people's use case scenarios. If you're considering buying the 3 Pro or the 4 Pro, get it. It's gonna be future-proof for a long time because there's really not a lot else they can do that's gonna be that much better to just the human eye and how things already look. Because DJI's quality on their video and their photos from their drone at such a small price point, it's just not gonna get that much better. So if you want a drone, take the leap of faith. There's not a better time to buy right now. You can probably get some 3 Pros for way cheaper now that the 4 Pro has been announced, because a lot of people who really use their 3 Pro and find value in the 4 Pro are gonna be dumping their 3 Pro off in order to get the 4 Pro. So now's the time to buy one if you're interested. And I would imagine with Black Friday right around the corner, the 3 Pros are gonna get even cheaper, so definitely keep an eye out for there as well. And just so you know, I have zero connection to DJI. They have no idea who I am or that this video even exists, so there's no reason for me to promote one drone over the other. These are just my personal opinions. I've loved the 3 Pro, and I think if you can make it a little bit better, then yeah, it's an absolute win, but I don't need it to be any better than it already is. It does everything that I need it to. But let me know your thoughts below. Do you think the 4 Pro is worth it? Do you like the way that DJI has been releasing their technology, or do you find yourself getting paralyzed from the decision making as well? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. And if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe and join the Freaky Tech family. We just hit 1,000 subscribers, and it's crazy that we're to this point already, and I just want to thank each and every one of you for joining the Freaky Tech family. There's something like 98% of the people who watch these videos are not subscribed, so if you want to join, that would mean a lot to me, and it would really help this channel grow. But thank you so much for your time, and I really appreciate you spending some of your day with me. Again, I'm Corey with Freaky Tech Reviews. I'll see you next time.